Start the regular season by selecting your season goal. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. You have a big decision to make about one of your players. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Here are all the players that will appear in the upcoming draft. Select to scout this player and unlock his. Each skill unlocked will cost you scouting points. Spend his. Scouting points are earned every week. Make sure you use all of your points. A portion of your remaining points will be lost when you advance the week. Welcome to Draft Week. All the effort you spend scouting comes down to this. Start the draft when you're ready.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the 49ers' latest pick.
NFL scouts were well aware of him throughout his college career, but it was an exceptional late-season performance that had him entering the conversation as the top-rated quarterback of this draft. In that performance, he showed he was capable of being a coach on the field, making the quick adjustments needed to take over a game by hot-routing receivers and calling audibles that lead to multiple touchdown passes. Based in part to that performance, his new team hopes that they'll be able to hand him the keys to the franchise and let him steer it to a Super Bowl.
The Colts pick is in. Adam, give us the rundown.
He's a durable lineman who set a team record for consecutive starts, never missing a game throughout a decorated 4-year college career. Ross Tucker praised his footwork leading up to the combine, where he did not disappoint, solidifying his position as the draft's top offensive line prospect. He has the potential to be the cornerstone of this offensive line for years to come and should provide consistent protection for a franchise quarterback. This is a great pick.
The Packers are now on the clock. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
His college career came to an abrupt end this year when he was suspended from the team. I spoke with the school's athletic director, and he told me it was due to an academic violation. He was on probation and close to failing several courses before the decision was made between the director and his coach. He was able to turn his grades around, but his draft stock took a hit when the news broke. Scouts weren't too bothered by his academic issues, but his lack of playing time made it harder to evaluate him with the rest of his class. And now that he's drafted, I don't think the team is too concerned with his grades either.
Now that the Texans have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more.
He had one of the worst pro days you could have for a defensive lineman. One coach put him through a series of drills, but halfway through you could clearly see him beginning to tire. According to Matt Miller, he looked considerably tired in the second half of the day and took frequent breaks. At the moment, he doesn't look like an every down lineman. He's really going to need to work on his conditioning to make it through an entire NFL season.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He's a running back that has amazed and confused scouts and draft experts all season due to his inconsistent play. Some weeks, he looked like the most dominant back in the nation, and others, he struggled moving the ball past the line of scrimmage. High-level sources I spoke with attributed much of his inconsistency to a poor work ethic in the film room, specifically not reading blocks or understanding cutback lanes in favor of trying to run outside. If these reports were true, This coaching staff is going to have quite a project on its hands.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. Eagles have made their selection. For more about him, let's go to Adam Schefter.
Well, he had a brief scare in the offseason, and I'm sure it scared a few teams out there as well. The combine ended abruptly for him after an undisclosed heart condition was discovered during a routine medical exam. Officials held him out of workouts and asked that he consult a specialist. Unable to perform any drills, he did stay at Indy and interviewed with each team. Following the combine, he visited a specialist and had surgery to correct the issue. I spoke with his agent, who was confident that it was an abnormal circumstance, and he assured me it wouldn't affect his play. Clearly, the GM was not concerned with this incident either.
The Jaguars are now on the clock. Cardinals are off the clock now. Adam, what can you tell us about?
Kick off your week by installing your game plan. Start the regular season by selecting your season goal. Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley.
Well, Larry, there's a new stadium set to open in Inglewood in 2019, but for now, we're in the heart of the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Today, it's the opener of the 2017 NFL season between the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. This one taken from the 7. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. On first down. And right away, he lost the football. And the Vikings pick. And they are going to bring this one back. It's a fumble return, a scoop and score for the Vikings. So this defense clicking early in the year, week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization defense, I have to say they like the early returns.
He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This will be fielded at the 8. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They go play action here on first down. He's got time. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Jaquez Smith in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Sharif Floyd in there to get him, and this pass rush strong now. That's sacks on back-to-back plays.
Now that's the way to open up a game on defense. Back-to-back sacks. We know that someone's come to play today.
Gone. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Fielded at the 20. 34 yards on the return, but for a moment looked like he had a shot to go all the way. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position, 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And his first look is incomplete. Stephon Diggs, his intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. A first carry now for Adrian Peterson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. We've got a 3rd and 11.
I would not want to be an offensive lineman in today's NFL, especially not a center or a guard if you got to deal with these massive defensive tackles who could not just beat you with strength, but they can beat you with quickness and guile as well. They can get upfield and make plays. And a lot of times what they're taught, just go ahead and tackle everyone that comes in your area and keep the one with the ball. So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone. And now out on the field, here comes Los Angeles. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically
And partner, this first week,
The players on your team earned XP. Quickly upgrade your team at the end of each game. Kick off your week by installing your game plan. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.
The Browns are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Setting a single-game team record for tackles for loss, he's quickly earned a reputation as a fearsome defensive lineman with a devastating rip move. Ross Tucker had him ranked as the top defensive line prospect in this year's draft, saying there aren't even many current NFL offensive linemen with the quickness and footwork needed to neutralize him one-on-one at the line. Adding depth on the defensive line is always a positive, and when you can add an impact player of his caliber, you set up your defense for immediate success.
Hold on now. This pick is trading teams. The Eagles are now on the clock. Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
Well, he saw little action in the option offense his school ran. His role was to run the deep route, stretching the field to open the run game. While he was able to get separation at times, the scheme limited him to only 1 or 2 catches a game. It wasn't until the combine that scouts had a chance to see him run the full route tree. Matt Miller told me his routes looked polished, and he impressed everyone at Indy by getting in and out of his cuts quickly. And most of his catches were clean, only bobbling a few of the more difficult passes. His performance gave scouts a little more confidence in his ability, and it helped him get drafted just now. He may still have some work to do, but I like his potential.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
Most offensive linemen need a year or 2 to get bigger and more polished before you start seeing them play at a higher level. In this case, however, he has a chance to make an impact on the offensive line from day one. At the Combine this year, he looked like one of the stronger linemen, and he also showed great footwork and technique, which is usually something players his size tend to lack. He's the type of lineman that can provide an immediate upgrade to this team's pass and run blocking, and they're lucky to have picked him up before anyone else could.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Packers made their selection. For more about him, let's go to Adam Schefter.
There have been plenty of incredible moments in college football history, but rarely do you see a game end in a safety. Late in the fourth quarter, his team was down, and its opponent was trying to run out the clock. However, he came hard off the snap, demolished 2 blockers, and crashed down on the quarterback before he even had time to hand off the ball. That safety was enough to give them the win and send his draft stock soaring. His raw strength alone was enough for this team to take a chance on him, and we'll see if he can develop into a dominant defensive lineman.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Kick off your week by installing your game plan. Kick off your week by installing your game plan. Start the regular season by selecting your season goal. Kick off your week by installing your game plan.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And leading them, Charles, their quarterback, their field general. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. We heard them talk before the game about utilizing the intermediate passing game this week. It works for them there. They move the chains.
And we saw them work on it in practice as well. And most teams take a period at a time to work on different things. They put a couple of periods of work into the intermediate passing game, and now we know exactly why. They got the look that they were seeking, and they were able to take advantage of it.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Adrian Peterson, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Vikings have taken a first quarter lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. First time with Johnson. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. So now 11 yards to go for this offensive unit. It's second down.
All right, here we go.
Again, it's Johnson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Back-to-back runs that were stacked up. Offensively, now you've got to think to yourself, do we change blocking assignments? Do we change formations? Do we change looks in order to try and get the running game going?
Out of the gun now on third down. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's brought down after a good gain.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Back to throw here. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Second down now after the incompletion.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9. And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on third down and 9. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. The tight end, Josh Hill, was the target. Now fourth down. Now the Bears' 6th-round pick in 2014, Pat O'Donnell on to punt. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Trying to lay one. And got his man. Complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Jarius Wright, 81 yards. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. And correct. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of...
Kick off your week by installing your game plan. You have an injury from the last game. See how long they will be out. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.